Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Cross, and I am here with Dixie Andelin Forsyth for a feminine moment. And we are going to talk about the domestic goddess, which has been a topic, ironically, that you have been asked about recently, and I have been getting a lot of questions about too. So why don't you talk to us about what is a domestic goddess?
Well, to me, now I'm touching a little bit on the new book, Timeless, and because in Fascinating Womanhood Vintage, my mother talks more about keeping up a home, which is important. But in other words, when you walk into your home, what does it look like? Are things all over the place? Have you taken any thought or time to the arrangement of furniture? How about this? Have you made your bed? Because everything starts in the morning when you get up with making your bed, which anyone who isn't in the habit of doing it, try timing yourself once and seeing how long it takes to do it. And it really takes seconds to do it. And when you do that, you start your whole day off better. But Timeless gets more into the whole idea that when your home is where you live, and everyone wants to live in a nice place. No one wants to live at their office and put a bed in there and stay there all the time. Who wants that? So even people with multi-million-dollar salaries have a home. And what is that home like? And most of us get the opportunity to create atmosphere in our home, which is where we relax, where we unwind. Not just us, but our husbands. And in this case, in Fascinating Womanhood, particularly our husbands. And when they come home to a disaster in their house continually, it makes you kind of feel like not wanting to be there. It does me, doesn't it you?
Yes.
And like, ooh. And it makes you feel just a little bit more discouraged, even if you don't consciously focus on it. So with the idea of creating atmosphere, everything you do in your home daily creates atmosphere, and it's fun. Everything. Think of all your senses. Sight, which is the typical one. You walk in and you see a tidy home. Dishes are done, that sort of thing. Okay, that's one of your senses. But there's also smell. And, is there anything cooking? Now, you're not cooking 24 hours a day, so there isn't always food smell. But often food smells in your house of cooking. Or if you're not cooking, at least you don't want the smell of mothballs or some dead fish carcass or something.
How about dirty shoes at the front door?
Yeah, or...
Let's not do that.
Yeah, just unpleasant smells. And... rotten food in your refrigerator, things like that, that can mess up your atmosphere that you've carefully created. When you move into a house, you think about, let's see, where should I put the sofa? Where should I put this? And you think about the arrangement. Most people don't just say, whatever, put the bed anywhere. You think about where you're going to put it. Well, you can't just arrange things and be done and then just vacuum once in a while. It's also created, and you have to keep up the creation of this atmosphere. That's why it's so unfair for people to say that it's so easy and simple to be a homemaker. To be really good at it, you gotta continually keep up the atmosphere. Okay, there's smells. There's also things you touch. You don't want. Not too many people would like a sofa that you have a slipcover made out of burlap. It's itchy.
Yes.
It's scratchy. And so, the things you touch, are your sheets soft enough, or things like that. And then the smell of your clothes, your laundry, how do things smell? And then there's hearing, the sounds in your house. Do you hear sounds of screaming all the time?
Yeah.
Or something we each have different.
Birds chirping.
I like birds chirping.
Me too.
I do. Some people like the sound of a waterfall.
Yes, I love that too.
Some people like music softly playing in the background. Some people don't like any sound, peace, silence, and that's okay too. But silence is actually not nothing. It's also peace. So if you pay attention to every one of the senses, it's something for you to continue to be aware of, and you can get in the habit. I know when I go through my house, I noticed I was doing it rather than I decided to do it. Every time I walk around, I'm continually looking from side to side, just to kind of visually quick check if everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if it isn't, I think, oh, I got to go shut that door or pick up that thing or whatever it is. Or those few dishes in the sink are driving me crazy, and I need to fix it.
I'll notice that too with me, with flower arrangements, or even if, you know, that something needs to be perked up. Like it looked good for 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, oh, it's not really working today. I've got to do something different.
And then there's the emotional atmosphere that you create of peace. And peace isn't just silence. It's like where you are not, there's not continual anger in your house, continual crying or continual yelling, or, you know, we all, this is life, and there's a lot of things that happen to all of us. Nobody gets out of this world without a story, stresses and things that we have to go through, death and accidents and betrayal and all those kinds of things. But we can maintain an overall atmosphere in our homes of a good feeling. When you, everybody out there, you know that when you walk into someone's home, you feel vibes.
For sure.
You can kind of pay attention to it after this video. You can pay attention to it and think, what are the vibes like when I come into my home? I work with Bob at one of his offices, helping him with disability evaluations about 3 times a month. And there's this one office we work out of. There are bad vibes in there. And we don't rent that whole office. We just rent it 1 day a month. I've stepped out in the parking lot, step back in there, and I can feel it. It's like dark. It's kind of dark and disturbing. And the other offices don't feel like that, but that one does. And so what I'm saying is you can feel vibes when you go into someone's place. Some people, you want them when they come into your house to feel like, I can relax. I'm welcome and I can relax. That's what I would like. That atmosphere you can create. It isn't magical. You can create it. And that's one of the things about Fascinating Womanhood that helps us to create this atmosphere for the people that we love, our husbands, number one, our children, and our friends and family that come to your house, that they feel and comfortable. We all want them to feel comfortable. What does that mean? Comfortable in all these different areas. They're not even going to be conscious of most of them, except that, oh, I feel good in your home.
That's so true. Good point. What about though a lot of what I get, or questions I get, is, you know, routine, schedule. I can't get on a schedule. I feel like I know I need to grocery shop, but I can't shop until the floor is clean and the kitchen's clean and the fridge needs to be cleaned out, and that's going to take 2 hours. And you know,
well, that sounds like somebody who's trying to develop that habit rather than one that's just staying on top of it. Is that correct? Because if it were me and I had that situation, I would plan an entire day to get everything basically up to speed in terms of cleanliness, your refrigerator, your vacuuming, and all that stuff. And then I use lists. I always do lists, and I do them. That I have a little pad of paper by my bed. I write down what I need to do the next day on the list. I know we have cell phones, but I still like paper better.
Oh, we have to write.
And I cross them off, and that way, and then if there's things that I don't get done that day, they go to the top the next day. And so, and then for me, because in the morning, it takes me a little while to say, what am I doing today again? Oh, yeah. And so at night, I'm clear, so I write them down and I check them off. But I don't clean out my fridge as often as I wish I did. I think, oh, it's just driving me crazy. And then I do. But there's some things I absolutely do, and it's make my bed.
Daily. Yeah.
The house is tidy. It isn't always deep clean, but it is always tidy unless, you know, I have grandkids over, and that's temporary.
Yes.
And even when the grandkids are over, I always make sure everything's tidy before I go to bed. Never wake up.
Another one, don't go to sleep to me with a dirty house or like especially a dirty kitchen. I can't wake up to that.
It's too depressing to wake up.
Yeah.
It's just too depressing.
So, and if you have health challenges or, you know, it's hard for you to get things done, I have those problems now. I break it up into 15-minute little jobs. So, and I've gotten into a routine now. I know that we grocery shop more toward the end of the week. So Thursdays for sure is my day to make sure the fridge is cleaned out.
It's a matter of getting yourself on a schedule, and you can do that. You don't have to do everything perfectly the first day or anything like that. But if you want to change your life, you have to begin to do it. And when you do, it'll be so much better to come home. You won't pull into your house or your apartment and think, oh no, I know what's inside there. And I've got a bunch of laundry laying around, and it doesn't mean that you never have anything to do when you walk in. Like I've got a load of laundry in my washer, and when we're done here, I need to go throw it in the dryer. But I don't have piles of it. Mm-hmm. And you can do this. This is something you can do. You just have to make lists. And if you actually time some of these things that we say, I don't have time for this, they're not really that time consuming. Even grocery shopping can be done in an hour. Mm-hmm. And that's 1 hour, and it's not every day. So it's a matter of organization. You wouldn't believe how organized my mother was. She totally makes me seem like a slob by comparison. Oh. I mean, but she did it effortlessly, like because she was in such a habit. And everything that requires a new habit, there's a little bit of a painful time when you're establishing that habit.
Great point.
It's like dieting. When you're on a new diet, some of us who have to regularly do that, before you're really used to the diet, it's awful.
You're hungrier.
You're used to it, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
You feel like you're starving to death. You'll never eat pie again, or you will, all those kinds of things. And so it's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But if you want to develop a habit, you can totally do it. And this is actually, to me, is enjoyable because it's like my sister Christine says, her favorite room to clean in the bathroom in the house is the bathroom, even when she was a kid, because she says it's the dirtiest. So when she gets done with it and she can stand back and look at it, there's so much more of a feeling of satisfaction than there is if she cleans the dining room. Right.
I totally agree with that. I feel like that about the kitchen too.
Yeah. And the kitchen too. Mm-hmm. And here's a tip. This works for me. If I'm really upset or sad or something like that, if I do something really physical, I scrub my kitchen floor on my hands and knees because it takes more effort and it actually helps. Plus, the kitchen floor is cleaner.
That is hilarious. And I have to say, I do this. If I'm stressed, I'm worried about something, I'm angry about something, I will mop my kitchen floor.
Which is actually science, because exercise produces endorphins, which helps you feel better. Why not exercise doing something that actually produces a clean room?
I love it. That is great advice.
But you can't use a mop. It doesn't require as much energy. You have to get down on your hands and knees, and that way you can get in all those little corners.
Some of us can't do that because of health issues. But yeah, you do have to use the paper towel in the corners thing.
Your version.
Yeah.
My mother always cleaned toilets. She made us clean it wearing gloves and a rag. She didn't let us use a brush. She said, didn't get it clean enough. It sounds really gross, but she's right.
She's right. That's how I do mine.
Gloves protect you, so you're fine. She didn't say use your fingernails. She said use rubber gloves. And they come up to here, for Pete's sake. So
how many men in that house growing up?
And
was there a boys' bathroom and a girls' bathroom?
Are you kidding? No.
No.
It was a kid's bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah, because in those days, people didn't have a lot of bathrooms unless you were really, really wealthy. There was a master bathroom. When Bob grew up, there was just one bathroom for everybody. But my parents had their own bathroom, and then we had a kid's bathroom.
Because I had all girls in my house growing up, and so when I got married and had a husband, it was a different experience.
But men aren't the ones who spend all the time in the bathrooms.
No. But the toilet.
They don't put the lid down.
It's a little bit different cleaning problem.
No, I know they don't put the lid down.
No.
It's our culture. Men are taught to stand. Whoever did that, I'm not very happy about them teaching that as it became part of our culture, because it made it hard for women.
Well, it makes it harder. It's not a urinal. Urinals are meant to stand, men, but toilets are meant to sit.
Yeah, well, okay. In fairness to men, it's not popular, but have you seen women's urinals?
Ugh, no.
No, thank you. No.
I wouldn't even know how
But
to use a woman's urinal.
I don't want to.
Me either. And I don't want to clean it either. I don't want to clean any of those things, but we do.
Yeah, but just remember, everybody, the things we do that are like that can help to keep us humble, and don't underestimate the virtue of humility.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
It's an unappreciated virtue, because humility actually protects you. Humility is not being debased or that you have no self-esteem at all or anything. It's a recognition of where you are compared to what you need from others. You're not the be-all, end-all. And when you stay humble, it's easier to see warning flags.
It is the foundation of being a fascinating womanhood. One of those characters that's underworthy character. It's very important.
Yeah. So cleaning toilets, fine. What's the big deal? I mean, we change dirty bums, we wipe noses, we do all kinds of things, and you know what? It's okay, because it keeps us humble, and we need to be humble.
Oh, that just ends on the perfect note. Thank you for saying that, because you are so right on that. So
I learned it the hard way.
You're like, I know. All right.
It's okay, and it's not that bad. It's really not that bad.